Man, Ryan Ruocco, Mr. You Bet himself, and Rebecca Lobo.
The noise surrounding Caitlin Clark has reached a crescendo so deafening that even the calmest voices in basketball can't ignore it anymore. And when Ryan Ruocco, Mr. You Bet himself, and the always composed Rebecca Lobo decide to break script and start publicly dissecting WNBA officiating on live national television, it's not just another night in the booth. It's a full-blown emergency broadcast. They didn't come to gossip. They came to lay bare what we've all been screaming at our screens for months. Caitlin Clark is getting fouled, blatantly, repeatedly, physically, and the whistles are gathering dust. Live on ESPN, with millions watching, Ruocco and Lobo stopped pretending. What was supposed to be a straightforward play-by-play suddenly turned into a televised intervention. And the intervention wasn't for a player. It was for the referees. Clip by clip, moment by moment, they walked us through what can only be described as a masterclass in missed calls and unchecked violence. JQ holding Clark's arm. Double hand grabs across her body. Full swat-downs. Even the subtlest contact was being flagged by Lobo in real time, circling, highlighting, and calling fouls that officials apparently couldn't be bothered to notice. When
ended up bringing up how players have been getting away with fouling Caitlin Clark live on
your own broadcast team starts running the officiating through a forensic audit live on the air, you know it's not a minor issue anymore. It's a 5-alarm dumpster fire of incompetence. And this wasn't a one-off. These weren't isolated plays. This was a pattern. A pattern we've all seen play out over and over, every single time Caitlin Clark steps on the court. She gets grabbed, hacked, slammed, and pulled, and somehow the league's official stance seems to be, that's just good defense. It's not good defense. It's not defense at all. It's a hostile takeover of her body every time she tries to cross half court. And for Ruocco and Lobo, two voices known for professionalism and poise, to break the fourth wall and say, enough is enough? That means things are worse than we thought. Let's rewind and break this down the way they did. JJ Quinterly reaches across Clark's body with both arms. Not one, both. She literally wraps her up mid-possession. That's not a defensive stance, that's a restraint technique. A full-on hug with extra steps. Then
right here they're talking about this right here, where JJ was holding the arm, okay? Then they're talking about this moment
comes the swat down, a slap that makes contact just enough to alter the trajectory of the play. Again, no whistle. And finally, the moment Lobo calls the hit on the arm, clear as day. You can almost hear the frustration in her voice, the disbelief soaking every word. She's not editorializing. She's witnessing, like a news reporter at the scene of a slow-motion train wreck. And it keeps going. Another hit. Another missed call. Another play where Clark gets clotheslined and the refs just stare off into the middle distance. Social media didn't wait to catch up, it exploded. Fans started a meme thread titled, "What will Caitlin survive tonight?" It's a running joke now. A joke with bruises, but a joke nonetheless. Except it's not funny anymore. Watching her get bodied like she's a tackling dummy in a football drill while the referees shrug it off like they just saw a light breeze sweep through the arena, it's maddening. And Ruocco and Lobo weren't subtle. They were surgical. They laid it out, play by play, violation by violation, exposing the officiating for exactly what it's become, a biased, broken joke.
Right here too, right? She's reaching through the body, reaching both sides, both arms.
Let's be honest, when a player like Caitlin Clark, the undisputed face of the league, is allowed to be battered every time she touches the ball, it's no longer a player safety issue. It's a credibility crisis. From baseline to baseline, Clark plays in chaos. 94 feet of organized assault while referees pretend their whistles are broken. She's not being guarded. She's surviving. And the league watches in silence while their most bankable asset is turned into a cautionary tale of what happens when the system protects itself more than its stars. And just when you thought it couldn't get more blatant, Rebecca Lobo, a former WNBA star, now analyst, decided she'd had enough. During the Fever's game against the Dallas Wings, Lobo didn't just comment. She condemned. Live on ESPN, she made it clear, "I came here tonight to call this game honestly. No more sugarcoating." And she didn't hold back. She pointed out every illegal grab, every hand check that lingered too long, every armbar that magically vanished from the stat sheet.
It's crazy how Caitlin Clark does not get her foul calls pointed out when
At one point, you could hear her draw breath and just pause, the kind of silence that says more than a full sentence. It was the sound of disbelief that this was actually happening, again. What's especially infuriating is that this isn't even in the post or during desperate stretches of the game. This is from the moment the ball is inbound. Clark is barely 2 steps into her possession, and she's already got defenders wrapping her waist like it's Valentine's Day. At this point, defense has turned into interpretive dance with a wrestling twist. And still, the referees act like they've just tuned in. Are they watching the same game? Or are they so blinded by their egos that they've decided that calling fouls on Caitlin's defenders might hurt the league more than helping its image? And Ruocco, you could hear it in his voice. That little hesitation before calling a play, the breathless disbelief that somehow, again, there's no whistle. He's seen enough basketball to know when a player's being railroaded. And this wasn't just a tough game. It was a public unraveling of officiating standards. He didn't just call the game, he called out the dysfunction. And when a play-by-play announcer feels the need to break the sacred code of neutrality, that tells you everything. They're not trying to be controversial. They're trying to be...
They are actually fouling her left and right, all the way from half court, all the way...
truthful. And that's exactly what they did. The inconsistencies are criminal. In one game, a player brushes against an opponent's hip and it's a flagrant. In the very next play, Clark gets hit so hard she practically lands in the front row and the refs just blink. No review. No foul. No nothing. It's chaos, and not the good kind. And it's always Clark. The worst part? She's not asking for superstar calls. She's asking for basic ones. The kind you give to a bench player in garbage time. The kind that come with the territory of playing a professional sport. But somehow, those calls have gone missing every time she suits up. Even Paige Buchers joined the chorus of concern, exposing how the officiating isn't just bad, it's fundamentally changing the way players play. In a pre-game interview, Paige admitted she had to relearn defense by unlearning the correct way to avoid fouls. Think
down to the basketball hoop.
Think about that. Elite athletes are now coaching themselves to foul more just to survive. And yet, Caitlin is the one being penalized? It's absurd. It's grotesque. And it's unsustainable. This isn't defense. This is sanctioned chaos. Rebecca Lobo herself started narrating fouls like a courtroom stenographer. Not as color commentary, but as documentation. Because at this point, someone has to keep the receipts. Watch her break it down. Here's the arm grab. Here's the wraparound. Here's the contact to the shoulder. All in real time. All ignored by the officials. She's not ranting. She's reporting. And when your broadcast team has to become investigative journalists just to keep the game honest, something has gone terribly wrong.